Hello, Divine Sunshiners. Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. Hello, this is Divine Sunshine coming to you with your summer solstice energy reading for you. So I've already picked out the cards, and so I wanted to do this as a warm-up before I do a personal reading. So the overall energies, as we're talking about, as far as the spiritual energies that's got us moving, as far as what's going on and what is it bringing. At the beginning, you seen I talked about what the summer solstice is. It's from Divine Feminine 777. I put that at the beginning and to help us to move in to understand the overall how we're talking about these big changes, these major changes that's going to happen. So as we're talking about what's going on for the summer solstice, and we know it's moving from spring into summer, which means things are starting to heat up more. Okay, things are coming into full bloom, the flowers, whatever. And I would say even with us, as we're moving into these energies too, we're heading forth into the 4th of July. I keep on picking up as I was messing with my hair and changing and doing things to it, it kept on saying freedom, freedom. I could hear George Michael's song that's saying freedom. And you got to give what you take. So again, this is where we are, where we're now. The country is opening up because of COVID. You have a lot of people like moving without the mask. And now it is this sort of freedom that's coming along with this, that's collectively, rather your divine twin flame or not, you're moving into this energy of having these less restrictions. You're even asking for less restrictions happening in relations and connections. You might even find yourself standing up for yourself and saying, hey, you know what was okay then, we might need to kind of check back out with the terms and conditions that we had before, because I feel like I don't think I can be able to, excuse me, I got this one little piece that's bothering me. I don't think we can maybe continue on with that. So you might find yourself in that kind of energy. So I'm adjusting this. This bothers me why I got this. I know. I do this every time when I get on here. Something's I gotta adjust. But you might even find yourself talking to people and telling them, like, I'm adjusting this hair here, that there needs to be some kind of like readjustment that needs to happen, and it needs to occur. I'm about to say I should outtake this, but I'm not. And so this is where we are. But at the same time, excuse me, as I dip down to get my earring too as well, there's a new thing. Some of us are embarking on something new that might be a little kind of nervy. At the same time, could be a job, a project, or actually moving out there on faith on something. And you're like, you know what, whatever it is like it's very new. You might have already had experienced it before. But whatever it is maybe you might not have had it in a long time. But again, or this is brand new and it's almost like it's starting all over again. So, and have these energies that's happened here, and we got these changes that we're moving from one phase to another. We got to remember at all times for us to remember to look at the big picture. It's interesting, they say full moon in Sagittarius, and it's got this strawberry moon that they're talking about that's occurring. Now that should be coming up on the 24th, which is the full moon. And so really understanding that it's making us to look beyond just the feelings and appearances, because I know I kept on, and I know somebody had talked about that before, that we cannot expect to really get the overall information that we know right now. It's best to kind of wait until the retrograde is over with, and then we'll get more of an understanding as to all of the pieces of the puzzle. So they're showing me like a puzzle piece, and it's like that one little piece that's got to be put in there, and this puzzle piece is going to be able to show you when you back up and you say, oh, now I see how that fit in place. So you're going to be able to have a more better of a, I almost feel like I want to like back up, and so you can be able to look at the whole scope of the room much better if you would just back up and kind of see everything. And this is what it is. Some of us is too close. Some of us has got to get more of a focus by standing back. Maybe even find ourselves kind of temporarily taking ourselves out of the picture or out of the situation, so we could be able to get a bigger picture. So this archer is really calling me, which is again be able to pull back again, and like an arrow, so you can be able to get more forward push and forward movement. So some of us might feel ourselves doing that before we move forward. Some of us might have already, I got that fork in the road, have experienced that. We have been pulled back in these energies before now, and now we're ready to move forward, especially with the retrograde kind of waning down. They want us to meditate and to contemplate. Meditate and to contemplate. Interesting. It say this Pisces energies. Pisces are known to be very innovative. They are ones that have all of the signs in there. See how you can be able to benefit from all of the positivity of all of the signs, and helping you to be able to contemplate and have this forward movement that we're going into. If you want to lean into the Pisces things, Pisces, you were saying about that, they are known, they're artistic, charitable, creative, dedicated, dreamers, humble, imaginative, impressionable, idealistic, introvert, mystical, peaceful, serious, and spiritual, and timid. Careless, escapist, and indecisive. So there might be, if you talk about the shadow aspect of this Pisces that they had said brought in here, that aspect, that might be either you have Pisces in your chart or you don't. For that to understand that the whole thing of the overall take of the Pisces is having this dream life, very vivid, very, very intuitive to know what's the next step that you need to take. But at the same time, this indecisiveness, it might be some timidness to doing it. So in order for you to get there, they're saying take that time out, meditate, and really truly contemplate. I was listening to somebody, and I said I was going to put that on my podcast too. It was interesting saying, as we have grown up, we've got to learn how to, in order for us to be able to have that movement, how to turn the dial down on our critical, our inner critic, and turn up the volume of our higher self. So that would be a thing that maybe you need to also visualize as you're meditating. Is like right now you might have things telling you, no, you can't do this, yes you can, yada yada yada, and that inner critic might be getting very loud. And picture yourself actually closing your eyes and visualizing like two dials. One says inner critic, the other one says my higher self, and actually seeing yourself physically turning that dial. Or if you want to even take your hand again to move it from 5D into 3D. So I'm turning down the dial of my inner critic, and I'm turning up the dial for my higher self, so you can hear that more. Especially during these times, especially they're saying being very introverted or very timid and indecisiveness. You don't want to be able to do that, because if you want to be able to look at the bigger picture, you want to be able to move forward in the direction that you want to go. Another energies that they're saying, that's the overall energies that it is that this moon, the solstice is bringing us. However, when we talk about twin flames and the connection, they said that we need to work with adversity, okay, which is I accept the challenges are the best way to learn. We have to, and that came to me also, and I said I was going to do that on the podcast too. When we're talking about perspective, now it is when we get these things such as triggers, which those are challenges, or things just don't go our way, we need to, as they say there, use the summer solstice energies, which is to pull back, really look at the overall picture, which means take a different perspective. Why did this happen? Why is this coming up? You know, really getting down to the finite of no more of taking the victim, taking the role of, oh, this didn't happen to me, but taking it at the point that you're saying, you know what is this lesson really bringing to me? What is the blessing that this is also bringing to me? Because that is going to be able to help us to move forward. Not to be in the position of, he quoted another guy, he quoted some kind of quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, and whatever it is like, you know, we cannot be volunteers for why things are not progressing the way we want to, or things are, if we being triggered. The only thing, because he was talking about when a lot of times people kind of hurt you, and when they're hurting you, he talks about how that we have to either be volunteers for it, or that either that person is already tapping into something that has already happened or you believe in, and that is why that person is able to hurt you. Because even if you say, oh, I don't like this shirt, I'm just saying, and then I was like, and somebody come along and say, oh, is that the, maybe you had this critical mom come along like, oh, is that what you're gonna wear to the picnic today? Oh, interesting. And then they walk off. And then you're like, and you're sitting there saying, well, Dad, that comment right there hurt my feelings. I thought I was looking cute. Well, in order for it to hurt your feelings, according to the guy said, is because you already knew you was kind of iffy about the shirt. Well, the shirt kind of don't fit right. You said that this morning anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and rock with it anyway. And here comes the critical mom that comes along and say, oh, that's the shirt you're going to wear. So she already tapped into something that it already is. So when those things do come up, like the man said, I think it's something mentor mindset or change the mindset or something like that Instagram had recommended me to watch them. And it's like, when that happens, then you need to check and see yourself and say, okay, that triggered me. What can I do differently? Maybe at this point when somebody says that and I've made up my mind that this is the shirt I'm wearing today, then, I've get to the point that that's it. Or maybe, it wasn't the best choice. Maybe it's a little ill-fitted. Maybe I need this time for me to go shopping and go find me a shirt that really fits me better. Something like that. Just really getting down into taking that energy and moving around into your own benefit. So that moves into, again, to adversity. Acceptance. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. So, again, maybe that mom is always being very critical, and he brought up a very good point. He's like, if somebody say, oh, I don't like your blue hair. And you be like, I ain't got no blue hair. That really ain't bothering me. That tell me a whole lot about you, And so that's where you have to get to the point of understanding that, where you have that reserve is like, that doesn't even resonate on me. I don't even hold that kind of energy. Understanding that also I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. If she comes and saying that again, and that's just that mother stick that she's always nitpicking and picking at you or whatever, I don't know who I'm tapping into, that, at the point you've got to get to acceptance to saying, okay, it's probably something else going on with that person or that mother. It's the things that she's scared that she's projecting onto you. Finding another way to how you can be able to deal with all that criticism that she's doing. Walk out the room, say, that's nice, take the information. Oh, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way, whatever like that, or say, well, I love it. You don't like it, but I love it, and walk away. Whatever it is like that, just get to the point to understanding that you can't change that person. Okay, so this is what it is. You said your point. Sometimes even where we are now, in the journey, and I would even say that I said it, I put it on the record. Like I said, I'm just going to put it out there and put it on the record. I said it to let me know and let you know that, hey, I'm not all right with where we are. And so that way it won't be put down there to say, oh, I let it just sweep underneath the rug. What you do with the information is up to you, but I've told you. And if you don't do anything with the information, then it goes ballers back into my court. And then it's time for me to kind of think about what's the next steps I'm going to do. So this is what it is about that. My mom always said that, they don't have the problem, you do. So when you get to a point that you can't change, and there's some things that you have to surrender, you can't change anything. Just like the people say, the bill is due on the 12th, it's due on the 12th, and you trying to talk them out of it, and they're like, ma'am, I'm sorry, but that's our policy. Then that means you got to go back to the drawing board, and you've got to reassess and move some things around there so you can meet that deadline. Some things you cannot be moving around or trying to find some way to kind of manipulate. Things are the way they are, and until they feel that they need to change, maybe again you can pray that one time at the company they'll find a way that they can be able to change the day. And I've had that, like it's like, no man, that's it, and before I know it, I get to praying and talking to source and resource to my source and my guides, and my powers of being, and I talk to them, and before I know it, next thing they might say, it might not come then, might come a month, and it's like, ma'am, now you got an option. I remember that with one bill. It's like you can either pay it on the 1st or you could pay it on the 30th, you know, or this day. So sometimes you just got to wait until things kind of shift around energy-wise and things, okay? All right, so the next thing, let's look at the divine feminine energies. So when it's in regards to the divine feminine energies, that means what's going on spiritually within us, the spiritual things, the things that are moving, the energies within, those things, the emotions, if you want to say that too as well, is telling us that the energy of the divine feminine is working with the world, okay? So in the world, again, is again trying to find that balance with where she is in the world. I'm seeing here sitting at the dock of the bay, that energies is still there for the divine feminine that we're in, that I did last time. Some things of, there's a shift from the world and the moon. So again, it's a shift as far as how this divine feminine is using her intuition and her awareness in the world. Right now, things are covered. That's why I say you're not going to get all the facts right now in the world, okay? Your intuition and your awareness is there, but still at the same time, it's being blocked. Well, it's being blocked for several things, because the retrograde is going on. Some things are not ready to be revealed at this time, but you're at the end, sitting at the Dr. Bay, like you're waiting. You're wasting time. You're waiting for time to kind of roll away, because again, it's got little lily pads here. We understand that there are things and there's some growth going on underneath in the situation with the person you're dealing with, or whatever person, place, a thing that you can't see, but at the end of the day, it's going to come out beautiful, which means in your favor. I see the number 29, which is jumping off the card, which lets me know it's about unity, and it's about ending cycles when it comes to you being in the world of divine feminine energies. Now, as far as your emotions and how it has movement in the world, then also we got the next card, which is your third eye, which means envisioning, using your third eye to be able to see where you want to go, your future, and having yourself to focus upon that. I think a lot of times with the divine feminine energies, we still present, but we stay present for the wrong things. We stay present for the hurt, present for the pain, or we go back in the past for the pain or the hurt or the trauma. But when we move forward, in as far as in the future, it's a little hard. Can you picture this situation in a much happy space? Can you picture this situation in a more positive space? It's the kind of, some of us is like you say, we're reaching for that information. So the divine says right now, what's going to be happening and occurring for the divine feminine energies during the summer solstice energies that's going on, there's going to be a movement. It's going to be a shift. Some eliminations of things that's going to happen in order for you to get this forward movement that they talk about, because the card says moving. And then also it's going to be able to help you to manifest things. Once you start eliminating these things, start having you more healthier connections as well, and also be able to stand in your authority because of all of this shifting and things taking into place. Things are going to be kind of clearly black and white. There's no gray represented here, so there's no iffy about that. It's either we doing it or we're not. Okay, and so they're saying with this, what we got to do in order to have this happen and work out magic in this is our spellcaster thing, is we've got to have the willpower. Notice, this is interesting. The first card here, we had the moon. If you look here, you have these two. Notice here, you have the moon covered up by the world. Now, this is the divine feminine energies, and she's covered up too. That means there's some deception there. There's something she's being covered up too as well, or it could be also protected. So here in the willpower, in order for us to do that, we got to be able to separate the two. We got to be able to separate what's happening in the 3D and the 5D, if you want to say that. We got to be able to separate the two about how we are in our world and how we're able to use our intuition and our awareness in the world, but be able to have that temperance and that balance of the two. I'm looking at this, and so that means we've got to have the willpower, like say, I got the power, in order to have this moving, because we're shifting and we're moving from phases. They're saying, just like the summer, we're moving from the spring where things are coming into bloom, into right now the heat and summer, what it brings in. Go back to That's interesting. They bring it to me back to the playground experience. We did something about the four seasons and how they represent spiritually. Go back into that and look. That's there on the playground. I have a playground playlist. And go back in there and see what does summer represent, where we move from spring into summer. It's very interesting how that will tie in on being guided for us to do that too as well. When we're talking about the divine masculine energies, in the divine masculine energies, we have him in his third chakra, which is again moving into the solar plexus. Okay, so in the solar plexus means him standing into the divine masculine energies. That means out in the world, learning how to stand in our power. Okay, and that's interesting. That kind of leads off from the divine feminine energies and how we will be able to show up, and we are twin flames in the world. We're working with that, being more anchored into that and knowing who we are and our identity. I know beforehand the divine masculine energies was having an identity crisis. It seems like to me it's like it's moving. He's still steadily having that movement to know whose he is and who he is in the divine masculine energies. So it could be the next card it has here is grounded and rooted. So the root chakra. So really wherever once we get into that energies of saying this is who I am, this I'm unapologetic, this is where I am showing up in the world in our divine masculine in our leadership, then we're going to become grounded and rooted. It's showing me like an anchor. It's like a person set sail and now it's like, yes, this is it. This is the land, like Columbus saying, this is America, which it wasn't. This is America. No, this ain't America where you was down there. You was down there in the West Indies, down there in Jamaica. That's where y'all. But again, we ain't gonna do like that, like Christopher Columbus. We gonna definitely know this is where we are. We don't want to have those Christopher Columbus moments that I'm here, and it's like, no, that ain't really your end destination. You got to go a little bit more further down the road. And so that is where we know we're gonna definitely end up being. For the divine masculine energies as well, some life changes that are going through it is really moving into energies of keeping the faith. How you gonna do that is interesting. It's got the color purple. That means the crown chakra, allowing a lot of downloads. I know it's been a lot of downloads for me as well. I've had headaches, vertigo has been going on. A lot of those two things there. Surge of power, feeling sleepy. Those are all signs of ascension as well. Releasing of energy, flatulation, things of that nature as well. All that stuff is like really in sneezing, really releasing extra energy that's been housed up. So he too is this brown here represented, which it means to me, again, getting rid of eliminating some things that no longer serve in order to have that. Also having just a whole bunch of, I didn't see a lot of yellow there, which means a lot of solar plex and a little bit of the sacral represented on this butterfly, which means he's transforming that. So having healthy connections and having being able to manifest is not that. I don't feel really in the divine masculine energies. If I look at the divine masculine energies, I having the problem manifesting things. I don't think that's really what's on the table right now for divine masculine energies. Right now it's more of a movement of the spirit. It's a good, I'm hearing to say, a manipulation of the worldly things, material things, but it's the other things that's the spirit in moving and have that. That's another energy for the divine masculine. Feeling motivation. That's what I said. Motivation to me is more of a spiritual thing. You can look externally for things to help motivate you. You know, like, okay, I see my friends doing it. That means I can do it. You know, somebody saying it to me. The external stuff kind of pumps up you to motivate within. But to me, when it comes to motivation, that is an intrinsic thing. That's mostly something that has to come from within. And that's funny. I said that because the butterfly is again getting nectar from this pink flower here, which represents bliss. So again, like I said, that bliss, finding what makes you happy, that's a motivator, okay, to be able to make things blossom. And then that's going to help you lead you into the identity of who you are. And then that's also going to help to ground and root you. But it's mostly what's got to be transformed here in order for this motivation to happen is again about these connections. To me, I would even say connection with self. He's got a little bit of brown there, which to me on the body, which means you got to eliminate. Once you eliminate those things that's blocking you from really getting to know who you are, divine masculine energies, then you'll be able to see, because everything is really truly black and white, but you've got to be able to see that. Okay, and then again, spiritual growth. I didn't even see this card here. This is moving. It's in reverse. Moving into spiritual growth. It's very emphasized that this is really, really something that the divine masculine energies has to understand, that it's so within, so without. But it's interesting with the divine masculine energies. It seems like to me it's the outside that's calling inside to call the change for inner. And that's interesting. It's like for the divine masculine energies, this outside stuff is motivating him more so in the world, which is going to cause him to have this spiritual growth. So again, it's all about the bliss. Every time when I see the flower is outside, to me, understanding again, he's got to have these healthy relationships, these connections to be able to manifest things for him to have this spiritual growth. This is what this is from. Because again, things are black and white. There's no gray area. It's either you do it or you don't. Okay? Either we going for it or we don't. Okay? So that's the thing that's going on with the divine masculine, because again, it's going to lead into him having those healthy connections and really be able to stand in this power. Now, where he's got to work the magic and create this change, divine masculine energies, is in this career. So in this career here, it seems like to me, when I see that, I see birds here, which means in order for him to ascend, there's something about this job. This job is either going to help him, maybe by being on the job, it might help him to grow some kind of way, or being off the job and eliminating himself for the job is going to help him to grow, and he's going to get some knowledge, because I see this rainbow around it. So to me, it might be even bringing him into union of the divine feminine and divine masculine energies together. Okay, and he's going to get more growth. Interesting, I see a ladder here, so it means again, all this is about ascension. I see butterflies. Maybe that's butterflies, but it look like birds. But anyway, this transformation is in the bubble. To me, he's going to be protected. So again, like Jacob's ladder. I'm kind of getting, I always remember by Jacob battled when he said he battled and wrestled and, with the angels. So I'm saying that's interesting. I brought that up. The divine masculine might be finding himself battling and wrestling with his spiritual teams. Spiritual teams probably showing him things and like, no, or again, what's going on, I don't want to do it, or they're saying yes, you're going to do it, I don't know how. And it's this wrestling here, this conflict that's going on. But again, it's like, spirit and the soul is saying, I want what's for my highest good. And so there's this battle of the 3D, the 50, and then what the angels and guides are trying to tell him. And he's just saying, bless me. Or it could also, that's one thing, a fork in the road I'm seeing. They're saying, some of them say they're ready, but they're saying, hey, stuff out here in this world is not moving like it's supposed to be, so I'm going to wrestle with it. Either you're going to bless me with what I'm asking for, or we about to go we about to go ham on this, because it's going to be all about hands. After a while, it's like, where is it? Where's my highest good? You done promised me this. What the hell is going on? And so we about to wrestle till you bless me with what I said I'm supposed to have. So that's it. Divine masculine energies has to understand also the work, the magic, boundaries. You want these things, but at the same time, the issue is, as far as you're letting some of this stuff in, there shouldn't be. Again, you want to be blessed, but at the same time, Spirit say you've got to do the work as well, divine masculine energies. And it's something, rather it's on the career, rather it's in the situation you're in a relationship, or whatever it is with yourself, or with family members. There's got to be boundaries here, because it's got to be even energy exchange. That's interesting. I seen on Jennifer and Kathy's the Facebook group, and she was like, I'm giving out free readings. And she's like, and if you don't give a review, guess what? That's going to be the last time you're going to get energy card reading for free from me, because it's got to be about energy exchange. Well, that's right there is putting the boundaries. You know, it's like, again, and I kind of feel that way is too on some relationships. It's like, listen here, I'm pouring into you. You not giving me nothing back. So you know what? I'm just going to put it out there. Some things going to have to be done differently from this point, because this is where I am. I'm feeling a certain type of way. And I want this energy exchange going back. Or it's got to be, we're going to have a come to Jesus moment about what is actually going on. This is what is for this, because I'm seeing this infinity sign. I'm seeing fire around there in order for to get some action. And there's a lot of trees around too, but they're kind of barren. They don't have any leaves on it. So it's like you got the foundation of it, but there's no growth. And because you don't have boundaries there, there is an issue with you being able to really move forward. And I keep on feeling like, to me, is this moving forward energies that this summer solstice is bringing here too as well. Ending of the thing, the overall from the powers that being, they say this is the overall thing they want to leave you with of the energies that you have to do, is that right now with this, especially when we talk about connections and with people, with the world, person, place, or thing, or manifested things, we're going to have to get to the point that we're going to have to really surrender. There's these major changes going on, and just allowing for spirit to show up and just say, hey, I give you permission to show up for my highest good in the ways that you are able to, that I am ready for. I don't need to see no more of anything, so to me that does not align, does not resonate with where I am right now. So I'm giving you permission, again, source, spirit, whatever, to come show up in the highest form that I am ready for, that's beneficial for me at this time. Okay, so that's that. I surrender. So again, you giving them permission. You say high is good, and you saying again, align it. Somebody say, you know, you don't want, like, you go into the drive-through and you say, I put in this order, and you come around and say, I didn't ask for this. This say chicken McNuggets. I don't eat no chicken. You know, it's like, I want what I put in, this or better. Okay, you know what I want. Give me this or better. Okay, so the next thing, and remember again, they bring it to me and they kind of tugging my coattail. Say again, when you do that, minus the ego. Again, minus the ego. Like this, yeah, he ain't acting right, or it ain't coming through like I want to, so I want this or something better. You know, just allow spirit to do that. Okay, and the last one, we got Metatron. The other one was Zephiel. Okay, this one, and they want us to use wisdom. I always say wisdom is a usage of intellect and intuition, or spirit, or awareness, all wrapped up and rolled up together as one. Because if you rely on your intellect, that's just the facts. Give me the facts. You just connecting dots. You just got dots there, like Olivia Pope. Just got pictures up there. But when you sit there and you look at the whole picture, like they told us to look at the total picture, and you use wisdom, you're going to move better. Your moves in the world is going to be better when you bring in this. So this moon is really highly saying, lean not on your own understanding. Lean on you using your intuition and your awareness and your worldly, what things you have, which means the intellect, what you learned about the world, and use these all together in combination in order for you to be able to have success and get the things that you actually need. Okay? Wait, I thought that was it. And when I put back the cards here, I seen that we have one card that was stuck to another one, which is a fiery climax approaches. So in our actions, if we move forward and we do those things that I just said, that again, to get the world together and to get our worldly, our intuition and awareness together, we're going to have a fiery, that means a powerful action that's going to bring a ending. Climax means everything coming all together, boiling together. And then the approaches, which is we're making this forward movement in order to get something to come to a close and an end. So do those things that I talked about earlier. Again, this is what that summer solstice is all about, that energy that's bringing. You got this moon, this full moon that's coming up too as well, and I probably will come back on to do that one too as well. But when I seen this, Aries is about actions. Aries is about knowing where they want to go, leading yourself in the direction. If you do all those things, like you said earlier, to make sure that you're not talking yourself out of things, really truly knowing the direction that you want to go, knowing the bigger picture of things, and understanding that when you meditate and contemplate before you make the next step, that you truly are aligned with what the desires of your heart. You should be able to have that. All right, that's all I wanted to add. That's it. That's all. And then let me go right back into what I'm about to say next. Okay. It's the end of the summer solstice. Reading for today, just giving you all that. I thought I'd throw that out there because I think we need some guidance as far as that. So that's kind of like currently where we are and what we need to focus in on. Don't forget about, if you're interested in getting your GPS reading with me, which is $17.17, go to divineunisouls11.co so you can be able to get that reading as well. And that's just to give you your own gauge as far as where you are on the journey, where your person is on the journey, and to help you to know what you can be able to do. Source give you steps as to what they think you should be able to do next. That's personalized instead of overall general reading as well. Don't forget also, we're getting ready for the next event, which is the 8/8, which is the Lionsgate event, which is going to have some same thing is free, virtually free. What is it? 4 hours of good content. Dynamic speakers, some of them that came from the last one, are signing back up again to do it. So we're going to have some great a good time like we did last time. Each time it gets better, each time it's elevated than the last time. Spirit really truly works through these events as well. If you're interested in also a past life regression session, or use some MAT, trauma that's being housed in pain, or trauma being housed in the body, please go to AshantiWellness.com. All that information is down in the description box below if you're interested in getting a session of how to be able to heal that. Let me see what else. Don't forget to listen to my weekly podcast called Divinely Speaking Unplugged. You can find that in any of the ones, but the ones that I like that's streaming podcast is Spotify, Synctify, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. Okay, so you can be able to get me there too as well. I update different topics, and it's unplugged, and I kind of give you behind the scenes about what's going on with me and what things and topics and spirit brings to me that's not from an aspect of reading cards. It's just talking and giving principles about life for that. So make sure that you do come and check me out on that. And don't forget that the Playground Experience is now found its own Playground channel as well. So come and check us out. Go to the community tab. I have always, when we're going live, I always let you all know what we're doing. You can be able to look on there and click. And don't forget to go back to that Playground Experience where we talk about the seasons too as well. Spirit has let it go back in there and say some good things to understand about the different seasons and what they are spiritually. Check out the spring and check out the summer one. All right then, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. Love you. Until next time.